Hello, hunters. Today I'm going to show you how to use BetOven Scanner, specifically how to set it up and how to see our first shoe res and our first values. What do you need to be able to open it? Well, we're going to remove Java. Once it's downloaded, you already have a video where I show you how to do it. Basically, we open it and it asks us for some login credentials. Since BetOven Scanner is free, we just have to create them. It's very simple. Now we can create them for free and basically, well, in my case I'm just going to use my name all together and a password.
I hope this one isn't already registered.
Let's go. Alright, perfect. Okay, so now, once it's created, we just log in and we'll find ourselves with a brand new BetOven Scanner profile. Here, it just tells us that we can use BetOven, the automatic robot. In this case, we're not going to use it, we're going to use the scanner. Okay, I'm not interested, and let's get started. What's the first thing we should do? Well, basically, before anything else, what do we see here? We see 4 tabs, 2 for configuring shoe res and values, and 2 viewers for shoe res and values. We start by creating a configuration. Now we give it a name, let's call it shoe res 1, and we create the configuration. Here we find 3 options, enable, edit, and delete. So let's edit the configuration. It's very simple. Up front, we have the Save Changes button, then we have filters for maximum and minimum profit, maximum and minimum stability, and maximum and minimum odds. That's it. We have all the bookmakers that are available in the scanner. So let's go ahead and select the bookmakers we're interested in. How do we do that? Well, we set as primary the bookies we want to use. Can we use the secondary option as well? Yes, but for what exactly? Well, the secondary option is for when we want specifically for that bookmaker to be the one where the value bet is found. In other words, the unstable bet, the bet that would be harder to close. That is, this bookmaker will only be included as the bookie that places the bet first, okay? It would be the least the least stable one, and, therefore, the one that has the value, and the other will be the one to close the bet. If we set them all as primary, we can use either one. So, BetOven will choose which one goes first and which one goes second, but let's say it will choose based on its programming. So, let's set them all as primary for now. Let's add the bookies we'll be working with. Let's imagine, for example, that we have TonyBet, that we have Interwetten available, Win, Betway, I don't know, Coda, Star Vegas, which is currently AdMe Admiral Bet, 888 Sport. Simple, right? Basically, we would choose the ones we want to work with. Well, I already have a few. I'm adding a lot, basically so we can find arbitrages, okay? We'd save the changes, enable them, they turn green, and then we'd go to the Surebets viewer and wait for them to show up. They're already showing up, okay? The buttons, well, the pause button is simply so it doesn't refresh, and then we have the interval in seconds for how often we want it to refresh. If I set it to 1, it's going to refresh every single second. Let's imagine we set it, well, let's restart. So, every second it's going to refresh. We pause, for example, and we find ourselves with this shore that came up here, with the different crosses. We can see it easily here. Clearly, let's say, the value bet is the one we have at Interwetten. Now, let's set up the values configuration. Same as before, we give it a name values1, create the configuration, edit it, and start adding bookmakers. Just like in the previous case. So I don't get confused, I'm going to start adding all the ones from this column and we'll finish faster. Here, in this case, what we would do is set it as enabled. Let's say it would be like the primary one we set before. This one should be enough. Let's see if it finds it. We save.
I haven't added any filter.
We enable it, go to the values viewer, and wait a bit. And now we have a value bet, okay? It's a bet that we see, we can see the difference in the seconds it takes. For example, this one is at 24.6%. We can see the difference in the odds, right? We have this bet on Betflag for, 2 crosses of odds, and the rest, look at those odds, much lower. We can find much bigger differences, okay? Here, in fact, if we set a filter where, the minimum profitability was 20%, then everything above that would show up for us.
This is simply, when we click on one of them, what we do is pin it to the top, okay? That's it. I just pause it, and here we can see the difference, right? In this case, it's 21%. But look, 1.95 at Betflag and the rest. Check it out, okay?
Well, now you have Surebets and Values completely free and live. What more could you want? Do you want them to be automatic? Well then, you have to use the BetOven robot. See you in the next video.